Hey everyone, today is the day after Thanksgiving, driving up to northern New Hampshire through northern Vermont just to see all the fresh snow. The elevation is very varying, so on this road, just about 20 minutes behind me, there was no snow at all, still even some green grass. Come here, got a couple inches of snow, and I think we're gonna probably have like a half a foot of snow in a couple minutes because we're still gaining elevation. Gonna have some beautiful shots of Mount Washington coming up. The sky is perfectly clear today. The sky was not clear when I first started the ride. And you can see on the mountains the perfect line of snow. There's Mount Washington, the tallest one. You can see all the buildings at the top are completely coated in snow, being wind-driven. Yep, just going around the corner here, the snow's already a bit deeper, I can see. But there will be a very beautiful shot coming up at the next hill of the mountain. Snowfall of the year. I also like the higher elevations on the mountains. You can tell every tree up on the mountain is coated in heavy wet snow. We got a little bit of rain all of northern New England, but a little bit of elevation, it was heavy wet snow. So this is the best shot we'll get, the top of this hill. If I zoom in, you can see every individual tree on the mountain is covered. Looks really good. Now right here at the bottom of this hill, there's a stream. This road was flooded almost every single day this summer until the DOT did a major unclogging because of the beavers. Look, the cone is even still there, and there's even some ribbons down there. I wonder if they'll be doing some further work or not. Right below where I am, they poured massive gravel, like the size of baseballs here, so that the road could flood without eroding over the summer, because they obviously were waiting on a part or something. Just turning around. There's some good scenery I'm going to show everyone. I'm going to drive around probably the entire Mount Washington, drive around the back side of it. I think it's Route 16. I might be wrong, but that's the highest elevation plowed road in the state. The second highest elevation road would be Jefferson Notch Road, which is amazingly still open this time of year. They have not shut the gates, which I think is very dangerous and negligent of the National Forest Service to have that road open still. It should be gated until the snow is deep enough for snowmobiles and not even passable by a car. They usually shut it down by now. I'm amazed it's still open. Most of the recreational roads are still open for some reason. They're usually shut down the first snowfall. Say maybe 10 minutes, I might be wrong, maybe a little longer. There's a massive hill we'll be going down where the weather's always different, depends. We'll be going down in elevation a whole bunch, but even though we're going down, sometimes it'll surprise you and be colder and snowier because cold air pools. There's a giant hill coming up on this road, I think in 10 minutes. Sun's already going down this time of year. It'll actually be dark in an hour. Now I'll show you a quick, beautiful view here before we continue. Actually, I'm not going to park at the scenic view. I'm just going to pull in here. It'll be a better view. Then I'll just make a U-turn. Times this hotel's open to the public for tours, but then there's other times they don't allow it, and there's a guard at this little house that'll send you back. I'm gonna try to do the loop and come right back out. The snow is so deep up on that mountain. Stop sign's not out, so we can go right through. Okay, look, they got a snow gun running right there in front of us. They have all the snow guns running on the ski slopes. Brecton Woods across the road has, I think, well over 100 trails, and only 4 of them are open because there's not enough snow. The only reason those 4 are open is because it's full of artificial snow. It was maybe about 10 minutes. Now we're about to go down a very steep hill. The sun is setting fast. Right here we have Saco Lake to the left, the start of the Saco River. It's very small in New Hampshire, but it gets big once it gets into Maine. It starts right underneath that little bridge. The beavers like to clog it up a lot. Just went under the road in a little culvert pipe. Then it goes down the steep hill with us. It was completely dried up last summer. This summer was a good rain year. Last summer it completely dried up. Wasn't flowing at all for the first mile of it or so, and Saco Lake was really below capacity. Looks like the train is still running this time of year. That's news to me. I don't think I've ever seen that track get plowed. It's kind of cool. Usually they have the North Conway Scenic Railway will have a big steam engine, and they'll have a Polar Express ride running it. They converted it instead of coal. I think it runs on fuel oil, so it doesn't smoke, but it's still a steam-powered train. The snow is a bit deeper here. Sometimes it surprises you when the snow actually will be deeper at the bottom of this valley. This is a hill that's extremely dangerous in the winter if it's snow-covered. Oftentimes this area, the elevation's so high that salt will not work, road chemicals don't work, so it'll be ice-covered for a while. Yep, the Saco River is flowing down there next to the road. It crosses the road a few times. This road was washed out about 10 years ago in multiple spots, closed for at least a week because the river is so close it just went over it. And here it goes. It's now crossing underneath us, and it will stay on the other side for quite a while now in the woods where you can't see it. If you look up on the hill, you'll see a shelf where those train tracks are. Those train tracks, I believe, haven't ran with passenger service at least the 80s. It might be the 50s. I get the different railroads confused, but it's been a while. The Scenic Railway bought it to save it. They just repaved this road this summer. Actually, in the fall. It was pretty late. I think it was just a month ago they repaved it. They didn't rip it up. New Hampshire just puts a new layer over it every 2 years on almost every one of their state highways. So a lot of their state highways, the asphalt's very thick. So it's going to be a lot of damage if it ever washes out. Yeah, up until this summer where I am right now, this low spot next to the river, you can see where the road was cut. Actually, we just drove over a little crack. That may have been it coming through. Well, they had to repave a good area there. The road got taken out a while back. I think it may have actually happened again recently, but I didn't see it. Earlier this spring, the waterways got high. It eroded a good amount of the road. Yeah, there's a good amount of snow even at the bottom here. This valley is always cold and windy. If there's still daylight, maybe there'll even be a good sunset, but I think we're on the wrong side of the mountain. We'll drive up the other side of Mount Washington on the way back. Now, if I was on the other side by the hotel, the sunsets are beautiful on that when it's snow covered. The whole mountain will look gold or orange as it's reflecting the sun, reflecting the sunset. I'm going to shut the camera off now until we get on the other side of the mountain. The scenery here is not that great going through the valley here. You won't see any snow-covered mountains. We're facing the wrong way. Alright everyone, now I'm on the other side of the mountain. We are in the shadow of Mount Washington, so we won't see the sun again probably. It'll probably be dark before we get away from the mountain again. Looks pretty, the sun up there shining through the clouds. We should see Mount Washington a little bit once we get around a few more twists and turns on the road. Alright everyone, I'm going to end the video here. Mount Washington is barely visible from this side. This side it looks like the top is in a snowstorm that occurred over the past hour or so. Mount Washington can create its own weather because it's so high. It can have a storm going on up there out of nowhere that doesn't happen down here. So it's all completely covered in clouds from the side. Can't see anything going on. We won't see the sun again. It's completely blocked by the mountains on this side. You can just see a little bit of the sunset going on the other side being reflected off the clouds. If we were on the other side of the mountain, the entire mountain probably looks orange, just like those clouds, because it's snow covered. I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great day.